Healthcare. I don't even see why the majority of people, and I'm not saying the majority, I'm saying there's a large minority who just don't need the doctor. I mean, nurses should be expanded big time, but I just don't see why we need to bring doctors into it. To most of it, they overbill. They're pretty much at the whim of their billing department. Their equipment costs way too much. So every time you go to a doctor, you're basically saying, every time you go to the hospital, not that anyone goes to a general practitioner anymore. No one has that shit. For everybody else, I guess is what I'm saying. All the people who just don't go, don't bother, I don't give a shit. I'd rather die than fill out paperwork. I mean, if I end up dying, I will regret saying that, but as it is, these people are just too hard to deal with. They're just way too hard to deal with, and the PhDs have pretty consistently put money above all else. Ethics are ethics as long as it's profitable. So, where people go right now for just basic nurse checkups, or the only chance most people have to basic nurse checkups, are they're getting paid to do via plasma donation. And all the chicks who work there, dudes too, but all the chicks who work there, are nurses, and they're the type of people you want doing that. So we have the infrastructure. I mean, we have the people. We just need a way to pay for it, and that's why I think I don't know what it'd be like a credit union for insurance companies as a way to break, after we break up the monopolies. But why? Shit. Nursing hospitals. If you could do a credit union type insurance and bust up the monopolies and have more competition for insurance companies, there would be money for nursing hospitals. Like, not even nursing hospitals, but not even nursing hospitals. Like, nurse practitioners. But we greatly expand that, and it greatly expand their powers for most for inoculation shots, checkups. They have better bedside manner. They have to worry about things a lot less. They're cheaper hourly. I mean, most nurses would be happy with $30 an hour, especially in an environment that's a lot more laid back than a hospital. But urgent care and all that operates on the same vein. Well, I guess not. They still have doctors, but it would be like that, where it would just be nurses in a basic office. We have the space in office setting, but you could easily add in health code showers and chemical showers and stuff for health code in most office space. So you'd have the room. It's just about funding and expanding the powers of the nurse practitioner and the RN. Where I don't need to go for most things that happen to me. I've never really been, other than my finger, and one time I ripped my kneecap off. I've never really been to a hospital, because it's just a pain in the ass. It's too expensive. I've had health insurance most of my life, but I make this quick. I've health insurance most of my life, but I'm just not paying copay and all that shit. So what if we do flyover insurance company, which isn't, it's just $22 an hour So I'd like to see everybody making $22 an hour for insurance adjusters to work from home and just and work on this billing situation. But Flyover Insurance Co. would help fund nursing hospitals or nursing. Basically, most people just need a nurse, is what I'm saying. Most people don't need to go through everything with a nurse to sit down and talk to a doctor for 5 fucking minutes and get billed $400 for it. You know, the nurse would be happy to do that. 15 minutes per customer, $30 an hour. And I, 50, whatever. I'm bullshit in terms like, timelines. But if they did that, the nurse would be the nurse would have a lot more control over what they do. They would need a lot less high equipment, more expensive equipment, and they could do a lot of prenatal care for low income families and postnatal care and shit like that, But it wouldn't be government. It would just be the expansion. It would be the easing of entry for insurance companies, the busting up the monopolies for insurance companies to lower hospital costs. But a flyover insurance company would help fund and get the funding for nurse practitioners, and United Labor Party would support. I just support the expansion of RN powers and such. I just don't see why financially we need to rely on the doctor. If 50% of it isn't, is just not normal shit and normal checkup shit, I would rather people be doing that with just plain old nurses who are going to be cheaper and probably enjoy the freedom, a little bit more. So, God damn it. That one's got to be a lot more. There's a lot more to that. Flyover insurance companies and nursing expansion. So I also like to see possibly pharmacists going back into work for themselves, because pharmacy is really well respected position. And maybe if we could combine the pharmacist, the drugstore owner, the actual pharmacist, bring back the actual pharmacist in the same vein, in the same situation, then you could have the same people rate at the same spot in the same vein as a hospital, but a lot more laid back, And you'd think there'd be a rush like there is for free health.